Hey guys, welcome. Today we're going to talk about dehydrating food. And this is an Old Anasazi recipe. I mean, this is thousands of years old. And this is how Anasazi natives used to store their beef. And this can only work with beef. Don't use chicken, don't use pork. It can only work with beef. So I've stored this beef. I bought this over a year ago and I dehydrated it and it's still good. Look, there's nothing in there crawling around or anything. It just stores it. And I'm gonna make another video actually cooking with this. Cowboys used to make this. I guess they used to use blueberries, but that's not necessary. All you need is a good cut of meat, which I have here, of beef, and some salt. And then you're just gonna slice it really thin, and then you're gonna put it on the racks in your oven. Prop your oven open just a little bit, just for some air circulation, and then just dry it. The problem with other, like canning and cans of food, if you're in a cold climate that freezes, that could freeze, especially if you can't keep your entire house warm. It could freeze and then you wouldn't have any food. So this is just kind of like a backup. This food lasts a very long time. I've dehydrated green chili. I have a video that shows how to do that. This lasts for a very long time, years. I also have dehydrated strawberries. These are out of my garden. You can dehydrate beans. I've cooked beans and then just dehydrated them. Just in case you don't have the energy to cook beans, they're already cooked. So it's just a matter of warming them up. You can add them to recipes. You can add these two together, the beef and the beans, and make a chili. Chili lasts a long time. You can buy it in the store, and it lasts a very long time. Another thing to keep is mung beans. If you have water, you can make bean sprouts, and you'll see these in the store. They're really easy to make. I'm going to make a video of that. I haven't made one yet, but we're going to explore that together. Another thing that I've dehydrated is broccoli. I've had this for a very long time, months. And you can make a stew. You can combine your beef and broccoli. Have a little bit of soy sauce. If you have amino sauce, it lasts a long time. It doesn't have to be refrigerated. Anyway, so let's get started, and we're gonna cut this beef. We're gonna wash it really good, and then we're gonna slice it really thin, and then we're gonna hang it. And you can also, if you notice, you don't have to shave the fat off of this. See how that is? You don't have to shave the fat off of that. The fat dries also. You just need to salt it really good, almost like ham, but even better. And it only works with beef. So let me wash this roast off. I bought a roast. This is a rump roast. It was very inexpensive at the store. They had a sale, so I just bought one. Beef is expensive right now, but at least, say if your refrigerator goes completely out and you have a lot of beef in your refrigerator, you can use this technique to salvage your beef. So let's get started. Okay guys, so you're gonna need a really sharp knife. I like this big fat knife that I have. It tends to cut really well, and I've sharpened it really well. And just take this out of the package at washing the beef. And so just the extra protection. Okay, and then I'm just gonna take this and I'm gonna slice it as thin as I can. See, just about that thin. And it's gonna dry, and it's even gonna shrink a little more. But you don't want fat pieces in there. And this is a perfect roast. Look at the shape of that roast. And I'm going to just do this to the whole roast. And then I'll show you how to you're just going to hang it in your oven. We're going to salt these pieces really good and hang them in our oven and let them dry for about a week or two. And just, unless you're going to use your oven, and then you're going to have to find someplace else to hang them. But that's the only place I hang them. So let me finish cutting this roast, and then we'll hang them, and that's it. It's just such an easy recipe. Okay guys, so see, this is all my sliced beef right here. I'm just going to put it on this rack so you can see it, and pull this rack out just a little bit. And so see, I've spiced these very thin, and I'm just going to put them in my oven. I'm not going to use my oven for a bit. And I'm just putting sea salt on them and hanging them on this grate. And we're going to dry this for probably about 2 weeks. This one's a little thicker piece, but that's fine. See? Just a little bit thicker. But that's fine, it'll dry. And let me get this whole grate full of meat. And like I said, you only want to use beef for this. And this is really good because sometimes with the canning and if you have a lot of canned goods, if your house freezes, those are going to freeze and crack, especially if they're in jars, and that becomes unsafe. You have glass in your food. But if you're not in a place where it freezes, I wouldn't even worry. But if you're up high, Michigan, I'm from Nebraska, so yeah, it gets really cold there in the Midwest. One time it was 20 below and the wind chill was another 80 below chill index, and you had to put cardboard in your in front of your radiator to get some heat. So see how I'm hanging those? See, those are some nice pieces. That was a good piece of meat. It was a really good shape for this, because I can hang that on my rack really nicely. And we're just going to hang these. This is an Old Anasazi recipe. Way back, thousands of years, this is how they would store meat. Of course, I think they used to hang it outside on strings and stuff, but I just put it in my oven. I find that's like a really good place for this. And I salt it really good. And I just hang it. These are some really good pieces to hang. And then I store it in glass jars, some canning jars. I try to use the ones that are airtight, where the lids aren't loose. And I just hang it in there. Or I just store it in those jars. And yeah, like I said, I've had that one for over a year. And then we're actually gonna maybe make a video cooking this and tasting it and see how it tastes. You can cook stew. You know, with the potatoes, I just bought a bunch of those Hamburger Helper potato ones and just store it like that. Those store really well. They're already dehydrated. That'll save you a lot of energy and time. And they're really cheap. The Hamburger Helper dinners. All right, guys, and then I'm just going to put these in the oven. I'm going to finish the last of these because I have to move this thing. and then I'll show you how I shut it. Okay guys, I'm just finishing up the last of these pieces. And these little square ones that don't hang, I put on the middle grate right there. But if they can hang, I hang them. All right. So guys, I did this a couple, probably about a few months ago, maybe 6 months ago. And see, there's the potatoes from the hamburger helper. And on this end is the dried beef. And it's still good. And I just put them in this container. This is for my run out bag or bug out bag or whatever they call it. And so I'm just going to slide these in. And then I'm going to put this right here as a prop. See? This I'm going to put right there so that this oven stays open just a little bit. See? So it's open just a little bit. We're going to let that sit for a couple weeks. I'm going to check it in a few days, and then we'll watch the progress of this. Okay, guys, so I'm just going to show you an update on this dried beef. This is a good way to store beef. We used to do it with deer meat also. So that type of animal you can do this with. And look, this is what it's looking like. So it's drying really well. This is day 4. So just wanted to give you an update. I'm going to leave this in here for a while. But it's pretty dry in 4 days. But it's very arid where I'm at in this location. If you're in a humid climate, you might have to leave it maybe a week or 2. But I'm going to leave it for a long time, probably another 3 days. And then I'll pull it out and we'll finish this video. So hey guys, this has been sitting in this oven for about 2 weeks. So look how it's looking. Let me show you. See? So it's really hard. I don't know if you can see that. See? It's really hard. About 2 weeks I've been letting that sit in there. So we're just going to gather these and put these in this bowl. And then we're going to put them in a glass jar. And I'll show you something. We're actually going to cook with these. I'm going to make a recipe. And I'll show you. I have one in my emergency bag that I'm going to show you how I store it. And I'm going to cook with it. So we're just going to gather all of these. So see, and you can do this with deer meat, I think elk. This is just beef. You can't do it with pork or chicken. It has to be beef. So like if your refrigerator went out and you're going to lose your meat, your beef, I would do this. Better this than losing it. This is the beef that I took out of the oven. And I'm just going to put it in this jar. Just a regular mason jar. Stack them in there. Try to get the best, tightest fit you can get in there. See, look at the big gaps. Shake it up a little bit. I'll play with that a little bit later. And we'll get that in there. Okay guys, so that's how you can dry your beef should your refrigerator go out or you have some kind of crisis, electrical crisis. You can just slice your beef, salt it really good. I don't use iodized salt, I use sea salt, and it works just as well. Don't eat this raw, always cook it. But it's a good way of storing beef. Okay, guys, have a good day. Bye. Bye.